here. With your permission, I'd like to have Mr. Cox be sworn.
Yes.
Sure.
It's a big political
I'll
thing,
see him, but
so they can try to
I
get away
see
with
him.
giving away
He's
use
there.
my
He
property.
didn't have any internet glitch. You were fine.
raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole
So
truth,
they're
and nothing but the
clearly
truth?
going to prove this no matter what happens.
State your full name for the record, spell your last name.
Right?
Gregory Cox, C-O-X.
And they're going to put those
All right,
windows
Mr.
in. I'm going to have to
Chairman,
fight them on it.
We've accepted Cox's credentials
But can't we sue the town?
a lot, often, and for a long time. Do you accept his credentials?
We do. Is Mr. Cox here as an architect, planner, or both?
I am here as an architect this evening.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Well, no, wait 1 second. Mr. Liston, do you have any objection to Mr. Cox or his credentials?
Well, I don't know what his credentials are. I've never seen him or seen him testify. So for the sake of the record, I think he ought to place his curriculum vitae and his licensure and credentials on the record.
There you go. Go ahead.
I am a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey for over 30 years. I'm also a licensed planner and a licensed architect in New York State, a licensed planner in New Jersey. And to refresh Mr. Liston's memory, I have testified before him in other matters, specifically most recently in seeker. But I'm sure there's a lot of board meetings he goes to.
I do.
And Mr. Cox, your office is located where?
We're located on River Avenue, 421 River Avenue, Point Pleasant Beach, in the restored original Ocean One firehouse that we restored about 20 years ago.
And Mr. Cox, how far are you from the subject premises?
We are
your office?
adjacent to the subject premises. The property actually L-shapes around our property and another neighbor on the corner, owned by Mr. Dolan. So we're right next to it.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, do you accept Mr. Cox as an expert in the field of architecture as offered? I do again. Mr. Liston, do you have any questions or anything?
No questions.
Good. Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
And I guess
Thank you.
for
Mr.
John's
Cox,
sake, it's probably
please
fast.
tell the
John
board
probably
your
wants to get this
association
over as
with
fast as
this
possible.
application, with the project, your
'Cause
history
he's like
with it, your
high-end
knowledge of
dude.
it, and then let's go from there.
Sure. We were retained by the owner, Steve Fisher, approximately a year ago, last December 2019. And we were asked to document the existing building, its conditions, how it currently sits on the site with an eye towards potential preservation and renovations to the existing building. Can I share my screen?
Yes. Yes, please. Well, that's Karen Mills. You're going to share yours. Okay, I was trying to get mine together, but you can share yours.
Okay. There. This is the building we're talking about. As everybody knows, this is the former Gottlieb department store. It's located at 641 Arnold Avenue. And the rendering in front of you, these are the drawings that were submitted to the town and are on record. You can see that the Arnold Avenue elevation is a decorative brick front, perhaps in the classic revival style. The building was built in 1906 and it is 114 years old. As the board knows, and it has been mentioned, there was a previous proposal before the board. It was proposed to be knocked down and a new building to be built. Interestingly enough, during the approval process, a demolition permit was issued by the town, and the previous owner was in the process of knocking the building down during the approvals before anything was granted. At this point in time, the demolition process was stopped at the last minute when the current owner purchased the property. The goal of purchasing the property by Mr. Fisher is to specifically preserve, restore, and repurpose the building while maintaining its prominence and geographic and historic center of the downtown district. Shall I go on, Mr. Jackson?
Please do.
Okay. So as we can see from our submitted renderings, I'll discuss the exterior of the building first. This is the Arnold Avenue elevation, and the upper story, it's a two-story building. The upper portion of the building, this existing brickwork, is intended to remain. It's been there like that for 114 years.
Gonna mute it.
The intention is that it will be repaired and the brick will be repointed. There's a few missing bricks, they will be reinstalled. And new windows will be put in the existing openings. The lower portion of the building is going to be restored to, we're going to keep the existing door locations as currently exists. There's a door to a smaller store on the left side.
I like what they did
west
here,
side
though.
of the building. A somewhat centrally located door, which actually leads to a set of stairs that goes to the second floor. This doorway and all its detail will remain.
I almost think we shouldn't even fight him on the use because it's just a losing battle, right?
To the right or
Not if it's a
easterly
hotel.
tenant,
It's not permitted.
and
Yeah.
that will remain as well. The windows will remain. This rendering doesn't show it, but we're going to keep the gridded glass up above as well. The intention is that the
Yeah, we got to go
existing
white on
tile,
that though, because we
which
just
is
want to get it on the
falling off
record.
the building, which
We
was
want to get it
not
on the
original
record
to the building, will be removed.
because we don't want to piss everybody off. Because I got to go for front of this board
Will
too.
be replaced with decorative painted trim. We think that the painted trim will be more in keeping with the original style of the building because
I wouldn't
over the
object to that,
years,
but
the bottom portion of the building,
the hotel use-
interestingly enough, has had several different designs.
The hotel
and
uses does
several
affect me
different
though if I go with
configurations.
apartments.
So we've concentrated on keeping
It
what is
requires a
existing
10-foot
and enhancing
distance
what
from
needs
each
to be
lot.
fixed.
I'm right on the property line
In
there.
the
I mean,
rear of the building, we're proposing a small addition, and this addition will, on this side of the elevation, will be a set of fire stairs and an elevator to access the second floor, and then part of the rear of the building will be reconfigured, and we're attempting to match the existing brick, as well as create some brick details by changing the color and direction of the brick to allude back to the design of the existing brick in the front that we can see here. You'll also notice the brick in the front is substantially different from the sides in the rear, and we will be attempting to match the existing brick, to the existing brick in the back. The sides will remain pretty much as is. The existing right side or east side of the building, let me enlarge this just a little bit if I can. We have existing openings on this side of the building, which are currently double hung windows, which were in place
It's
when
new.
this portion of the building was
that one right there.
an apartment. And the intention is to, since we're changing the use from an apartment use to a hotel use, which is an R1 use, we will be taking out the operable windows and replacing them